All right, there he is. The arequipe to my pan, the arroz to my frijole, the ají to my empanada. The one and only Danny Segura, who brought...
I like that one.
Yeah, you brought
Nice.
ají and empanadas to the studio today.
Yeah, huge hit.
It was, my wife came, and my mother-in-law came, and they loved them, and they are authorities on this. So.
Yeah, see, the problem is that most people think they've had Colombian empanadas, just in general empanadas, but most people have either the Dominican ones or the Argentinian ones, which are baked. The Colombian ones are fried,
right.
so and they're hard to come across.
They certainly are. All right, how were the calls this past weekend?
They were really good.
Yeah?
They were really good, yep. Despite the holidays, people still called. Obviously, huge event, lots to talk about, so they were pretty good.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the sound off with you for about the next 20, 25 minutes, and then we're going to open this thing. You're going to come in here, and we're going to ring out the new year. How's that sound?
Cool. Sounds good.
Ring out the old year anyway. All right, let's do it.
All right. So, first up, nice and simple.
Hey, Luke, first-time caller. Just wondering, what do you think's next for John Jones? What do you think's going to be next for Gustafsson? All right, man. Take care.
Gustafsson.
Boom. Short question.
Yeah, Gustafsson, I don't know, but if you saw, I keep forgetting her name. Who was the lady that he dissed at the press conference? The Swedish journalist?
Jones. I think it was escaping.
Her last name is Kostic.
Yes.
Miss Kostic. I forget her for Isabella. Is it Isabella Kostic?
So. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
She had said that there was talk in Sweden of Gustafsson retiring. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. Let's hold off on that. It looks to me like they're probably going to squeeze in a John Jones-Anthony Smith fight somewhere. You heard Daniel on the show today saying he still got some injuries, so God only knows what's going to happen with that. So I think Smith versus Jones is next.
Yeah, I would agree. And they had a little back and forth, right? A little, not confrontation, but they had their little thing on the Fox broadcast, right?
Yeah.
And at this point is like everybody looks always like, oh, I feel like in this UFC era we're looking at like, oh, what's next and what super fight can we pull up next? Can we just start drawing the number one contenders and just getting these title defenses rolling? Like every single title fight doesn't have to be the biggest, huge pay-per-view. Just line them up, get them going. So if Anthony Smith is next, then that's who it is. As far as Gus. Man. Tough spot, man.
Who knows?
Very tough spot.
Who knows with that? That's a tough spot to be in.
Because even if he wants to move up to heavyweight, he lost to DC, who's holding that title. So, very rough situation. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Now, let's talk about Amanda Nunes. In some sort of way, she feels like she was the biggest winner this weekend.
I think so.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke. It's Bryce calling from Coast MMA. So this week was pretty crazy, as you know. And Amanda Nunes was fully overshadowed by the John Jones drama. We weren't hearing really anything about this. And, I mean, this is kind of the story for Amanda Nunes' last couple of fights. Ronda Rousey comes to mind. No one's really talking about it, the absolute underdog. But it seemed like most people were celebrating Nunes' victory after UFC 232. That was the positive takeaway from the night. It was really nice to see, and I hope the MMA fans are coming around on Nunes. Have a happy New Year, Luke, and cheers, Danny.
So is Amanda Nunes becoming a star here? I feel like that was a big topic here. And I mean, you touched on it a little bit with this guy's tweet, which was very insensitive, by the way. The timing of it as well. What do you think?
I think that, look, again, is she Conor McGregor in terms of her personal magnetism? No, that's not who she is, okay? So the upside of how popular she could be is somewhat limited in that regard. But the other part about it is, dude, you start racking up wins like the one she racked up on Saturday night, people sit up and take notice, man. Yeah. With a resume like she's got, it's a ridiculous resume. It's a ridiculous level of accomplishment. And to just body Cyborg like that, dude, nobody bodied Cyborg. Not even Urena Bars bodied her like that. And she did. And so for me, I could just tell, even among her haters, there was begrudging respect. Does that mean she'll be a star tomorrow? I don't know. But did she turn some kind of a corner on Saturday? Yeah, I think she did.
I don't know, man. To me, there's very few times that I felt the way I did watching Amanda Nunes.
You told me you were out of breath.
Yeah, I mean, I was freaking out, and Jones and Gus was up next, and I'm like, I'm not emotionally ready for this. I need a breather. I need a break. This was just, I mean, very few moments. It was maybe just a level below Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey, which was huge, right? Everybody was in shock. Or like, Nate Diaz submitting Conor McGregor. It felt like that, where I was just like in complete shock, and it kind of took me out of, the media, journalist mentality, and I was just, reacting as a fan. And it felt big. I don't know how is it gonna translate as far as like her star power, but man, you can imagine a fight with Holly Holm, for example, like who's already we've known she can draw some good numbers. I mean, at this point, I feel like Amanda Nunes is a draw. Might not be like a huge draw, but she could definitely put some pretty decent numbers behind it.
She wasn't against Raquel Pennington, but I every time someone gets a victory like this, you have to ask, is there a bit of a different ceiling and floor? I think there might be a raise. How much of one? I don't know. We need to see. But that felt big.
Yeah. I mean, it was on Twitter. It was everywhere, man. Yeah.
And the numbers online. If you look at the videos with her, they're huge, huge numbers. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. Let's talk about now if there will be, maybe an immediate rematch there.
Hey, Luke. Pico Graham here. I don't really have a location. I just kind of pop in from time to time. Quick question. Do you think after Nunes beats Cyborg that they will go ahead and try a rematch and then dissolve the 145 division, considering Cyborg's contract will then be up? And second of all, give Doyle for a royalty fee. He used your term promotional malpractice in the MMA Fighting post-fight show. Thanks. Love the show.
Do you get any royalties for that?
Man, I don't get shit. Here's what I would say about that. You heard Conan. He says that if it was a split decision, you would do a rematch. That's ordinarily true. Yeah. But if you have somebody who has been as celebrated and a dominant figure as Cyborg, and she just gets roasted in less than a minute, they're gonna run it back, man. And plus, there's money to be made. There's money to be made, and finally turn Amanda into a hotly anticipated fight again. You'd be stupid to not make that fight. And I know what Conan's point is. I get it, but I also get the facts.
I get it for sure. But Joanna Jędrzejczyk, first round knockout, got an immediate rematch. Cody Garbrandt, right, second round knockout, I believe, immediate rematch. Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman. We know that putting a knockout doesn't end things. If there's money to be made again, the fight will happen. Yep. And at this point, you look at bantamweight. What, you're going to make a fight with Caitlin Vieira? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see that, but it's not really a big money fight there. And at 145, there are no fighters. And
Megan might have to run it back with Kat Zingano. We don't even know what's going to happen with that. So
that's true. Another part of this question was about sort of the future of the women's featherweight division. I don't know. This morning I was thinking, because like Cyborg, the only reason why there's a belt in the first place, a women's featherweight belt, is because of Cyborg, right? And then Amanda being the champion at 135, I don't know if the UFC has a lot of reasons to keep that belt much longer, especially if Cyborg decides to go somewhere else, because we know, her contract is coming to an end, or, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Hard to say. If that had been Megan who had done that to Cyborg, the UFC would be, toasting champagne glasses, not merely because it'd be New Year's Eve. They'd be thrilled with that, right? But it wasn't. It was the other champ in the lower division, and that's still a good thing. You can still make that into something. But to your point, it's hard to know. If Cyborg does end up going with Scott Coker, do they want to build behind Megan? They might. I don't know. It's a lot of. I would say this: there's a palpable degree of uncertainty around that division's future.
Yeah, Cyborg was that sort of big paperweight. Yeah, just holding that down. With her, out of the picture, at least for now, things get a little murky. So, who knows?
What's next? All
right, real quick. Amanda Nunes, Kat Zingano and Megan Anderson. See what thoughts you have on that.
Hey, Luke. Hey, Danny. This is Dustin calling from Mission Viejo, California. Calling during the second intermission for the Risen 14. Can't believe everyone in the Northern Hemisphere is up in the middle of the night waiting on Floyd.
Trust me, it ain't everyone.
I know everyone's going to ask about Amanda Nunes and John Jones, rightfully so, but I figured, what about that Megan Anderson-Kat Zingano finish? Would you like to see them run that back? Also, what do you think? Should that be treated as an eye poke? Anyways, keep up the great work, guys. Bye.
So definitely not an eye poke.
Yeah, I mean, if it was
kick thrown,
right, if you kick at a lateral angle and then the point of the lateral kick ends up in the eye, it's clearly not a poke. If you were in mount or something and you held them down with your hand like on their throat, what they used to call the rape choke, which I know is a terrible name, I don't know what else to call it, and then you dug your other toe yoga style into their eye, okay, that would be an eye poke. But if you're laterally swinging and then the tip just happens to clip at right angle. It's not an eye poke. It's unfortunate, and I'm so glad Kat's okay. They could run it back. They could not run it back. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other. What about you?
I'd like to see it. I feel bad for Kat. I feel like she just has a lot of bad luck.
She does.
We just never really get to see her full potential. Like when she fought Ronda Rousey, like were you satisfied with the outcome? Like part of me was like, dude, Kat can do so much better than that. Like, you know, even if she would have gone and lost the fight, sure, but like just the fact that we only see her for like these very short stints, like you know, it almost feels like, you know, I don't know.
There are guys. There are people. This is what they mean when people say they're a good competitor.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Cormier is a phenomenal competitor because he does it a lot, and then when competition time comes, he knows how to dial himself in to more often than not get the very best out of himself. And I feel like that's something that's been missing. And I mean, I could be wrong and I could be misdiagnosing it, but it just feels like you look on tape at what Kat Zingano can do, and the tape doesn't lie. Strong, talented wrestler. I mean, I could go on and on.
Yep.
But there just sometimes feels like when she gets going early, she's a little bit hasn't quite found herself, and that could be some competition prep issues. I don't know. I don't really know what it is, but I don't think we saw the best of Kat Zingano pretty clearly on Saturday. And you know what? Maybe they could run it back. I don't know. I guess let's see what they do with Amanda and Cyborg. I guess.
I wouldn't be opposed to Megan versus Nunes either.
No, it'd be a good fight.
One too. Yeah. All right, moving on. This question's actually about you.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I was jumping and screaming last night. I think I lost my voice, but this is about the media, the double standard in the media. A young lady asked a question to John Jones. He brushed her off, sent her to hell. Same thing happened to Luke. Nobody made a fuss about it. So I'm wondering if it's because she's young and pretty that everybody made a fuss about it, because when Luke obviously got shut down by Jones a few times, nobody gave a shit. This is John from Jersey. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. One time, guy. People are acting like it's happened like 10 times.
Did you get flashbacks when that happened?
No, I don't give a fuck. People care about it more than I do. Here's the difference. The difference is that the last time I had seen John before that I asked that question was like a day or two before the OSP fight, and we were on good terms at the time. I hadn't seen him since then. And then I asked that question not knowing that we were not on good terms. And then, you know, he did what he did. Yeah. She came in totally different. Remember, if you go back and you watch my question, my question to John was a softball question. I was like, well, how was your fucking 20s, you know?
Yeah.
Her whole posture, and by the way, so he was like, I really don't like you, so I'm not going to answer it. And I was shocked. So I had no, and when I went up to the microphone, that was the only question I had because I just didn't care about asking anything else.
There was a lot of media there, too.
Yeah, I thought I'd give him a thing and he would give it back and that would be it. She did two things differently. Number one, she went in with a combative posture right away. And that changes your dynamic.
Yeah.
And then two, she had a follow-up question. To me, I was like so stunned. I sat there being like, am I in the Twilight Zone? What happened here? Yeah. So double standard, I don't know. Also, you know, I piss a lot of people off, so people don't try to rush to my defense. I understand that as well, but which fine. That's the way. That's the business. You piss people off. You have to understand when they don't want someone to be, you know, white knight for you. But no, the difference to me, the real difference, if I can be candid, is in her defense. She came in combative, which is fine. When I say combative, I don't mean unprofessional. That's two different things.
Yeah, you can have a combative.
You can have a combative, absolutely. Sure. And then she had follow-ups ready. Mm-hmm. That changed. Going forward, if I ever ask a question at a press conference, especially if it's somebody, I don't know if they like me or not, my new rule is, and here's a lesson for all the journalists out there. Ready? Always have a second question. Because then you can just pivot to the next thing, and it doesn't sit there in the ether like a fart in the room, and you're all just like, oh my God, what happened? So I don't know. No double standard as far as I can see.
Yeah. Also, it was different, the scenario, in the sense of like yours was like, because I remember watching that live on the stream.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like a one. It was a one thing, you know, one deal thing, and it was quick, and then sort of things moved on.
Yeah, hers rolled.
Hers, like the fans were booing her, and then even John Jones kept back. It wasn't like he said one thing and that was it. He kept back and saying stuff, and then the fans were booing her. Yeah. It just looked like an ugly scene, man.
But have people caught on to the fact that, and I won't name names, there's a bunch of people John won't talk to. Just he wouldn't talk to Chael Sonnen on Saturday night.
Yeah.
There's some other ones.
A lot of people have a lot of opinions on him. So
yeah. Well, look, and I've said this before. What does he owe me? Nothing. He owes me absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's a free man. He can choose
totally fine. And people are like, oh, Luke's trying to get on his good side. Trust me, I don't care at this point. It's what's done is done. I'm just pointing out, my number one recommendation is, if you're going to do that kind of thing where you're going to ask somebody questions, know what you're up against and have a backup plan. Don't just waltz in there like Michigan J. Frog. Hello, my honey. Hello, my... Hey, John, how are you? Fuck you, guy. And I'm just standing there like an idiot.
Yeah.
So,
All right, want to do one more or want me to go in there?
we can do one or two more. Let's see how long they are.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Donnie Jordan, and I'm calling from Missouri. On the undercard of 232 with fighters like, Peter Yan, Montel Jackson, Nathaniel Wood, 135 is really getting a lot of new contenders in that weight division, where it's kind of been stale for a second. I just wanted to know if you saw any promise in some of these newer contenders that we saw, or if there's any other ones that you guys might see. Thanks, guys. Really like the show. Bye.
Well, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say generally, man, and it broke my heart a little bit. Arlovsky certainly, I think he's not getting blown out. That's not the scenario, but he's having some difficulty putting wins together. I think that's a fair way to put it. Carlos Condit, man, that one-arm Kimura would have put on anybody, but the fact that it's 4 or 5 losses in a row at this point, Penn's hit 6 or 7. That just feels like as that Fox era is ending, some of those old institutions, as beloved as they may be, they're having a hard time hanging on. And these new guys, as he mentioned, and it's bantamweight, it's a different division, but Peter Yan or Piotr Yan, however you pronounce it, and many of the other ones, Nathaniel Wood, and look at 145, look at Volkanovski just announcing his arrival. There's just so much, and Volkanovski's a little bit older, but the point being is all this new blood.
Yeah.
All this new blood coming in and forcing everything out. It's just the way the fight game goes. So I'm excited, yes, about bantamweight, about featherweight. Light heavyweight's got some work to do. We'll see what happens with middleweight. But those WEC divisions, Danny, man, dude, there's a ton of exciting up-and-comers. Yes.
One guy that really impressed me was Curtis Millender.
Yes.
And it wasn't in the sense of because he had issues, right? There was clear holes that he had in that fight.
Yep.
We saw them.
Tactical
for sure.
errors, yeah.
I'm not going to be, turn a blind eye on that. But, what he was showing me was enough for me to be like, okay, this guy may be something, right? I'm going to keep an eye on him. And, he has a very distinct style. And if you look at the world-class fighters, they all have distinct styles.
Yeah.
Like, they all have things that they do in their own unique way, and they move. They're not generic. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
And with Curtis, not generic at all. Like, I could see what he's doing, and I could see, his own style and technique behind it, which was pretty impressive. And, he's got tons of potential.
He loves sitting in that pocket, boy. Dangerous,
His
but
range.
he's good at it, too.
He's a sniper.
Very, very good at it.
Yeah,
Hey, one more call.
All right.
Trust me, one more.
Okay.
I'll make it fast.
You're going to like this one.
Okay.
Hey, Luke, Danny, and all the guys in the back. This is Ben from Richmond, Virginia, proud home of Amir Sadala and Joe Silva. Setting aside the difficulty of actual practical regulation, and more theoretically, is there a morally relevant argument to make in favor of our athletes using performance-enhancing drugs? This was first kind of anecdotally in my mind when Bigfoot Silva came off TRT and was quickly getting knocked out much easier than he had been before. And it's made me wonder, wouldn't we want to use every method possible to protect the health of these athletes who are putting their bodies on the line? When I go in for a surgery, they're putting me on steroids to aid my recovery. Wouldn't we wish to be able to provide that same benefit to our athletes? Thanks, and I'll take my answer off air.
I can't. Why did you ask the best and most complicated question when I have the least amount of time to answer that? The long story short is there are a lot of people think I'm just making this up. I can list the professors, and I posted a debate. There's a famous debate. I think it's called IQ Squared. I couldn't find it again. It had on one side people who were for anti-doping and on the other side people who were against it. And one of the guys who was against it was merely because he found regulation ineffective, but the rest were actually pro use of steroids in sports. And their basic arguments were we tend to compartmentalize what we think are advantages, or we say, oh, there's such an advantage with steroids. And the arguments from these guys, and this is from academics, would be from philosophically, you can't really separate one set of advantages that someone could be conferred upon from another. That's what they would make. This takes time to explain. I can't do it all right here. The other argument that goes into is the one that he raised, which is more the medicinal one. In a sport with a 100% injury rate, where these guys have this amount of time to make money and they have to sit on the shelf for that long to heal, to deny them, let's say, HGH to heal a shoulder like Crow Cop did, you are severely impacting them, and there might be some performance-enhancing benefit, but on balance, this is better for the game. Here's the thing I would say that folks just really need to fundamentally accept. In all these leagues where they're like, how come there's no steroid scandal in the NBA? And there was an article last week about that in the NHL and in FIFA. Sergio Ramos, he got caught up in this.
Yeah.
It's because my boy. By the way, no red cards for the first time in a year since 2015. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Point being is this. If you take the posture as a league or an entity, whether it's the Olympic Committee or whatever, that anti-doping really matters to you, and you really force it out there as a thing, the fans will care about it. But if you don't, there is overwhelming evidence that they will not rise up and neglect your sport because you don't. Sorry, the facts are what they are on this. If you don't tell them you care, they just won't care. It's a weird thing. It's called the reservoir theory in politics. A strongman, for example, and I know it's a little bit circusy, strongman, they don't even bother testing. Why would you? What is the effing point? Because they don't find it necessary. Does anybody who watches that sport care? And by the way, I know Eddie Alvarez was out there saying things like, there should be 0 in your body. Look, I have so much respect for Eddie Alvarez, but that is not realistic. It is not. That is totally not realistic to say you just should have 0 in your body. And moreover, he's like, well, this is not like hitting a ball and he doesn't make this argument. Everybody makes this argument.
Yeah.
It's not like hitting a ball or throwing a basketball. What about football, American football, where these guys are fucking turning their brains into tapioca? Do you know what
I guess because the mechanics actually look more violent in the sense of,
in
it's
MMA.
a fight.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. You want to treat fist fighting in a cage like a sport, then you have to think of it like a sport. And what do other sports leagues do? They look the other way. Why? Because the fans don't care, and it's good for business. I mean, you can like that fact or you can hate that fact. It's a fact.
Bellator doesn't have USADA, and I don't see anyone, going, I'm not going to watch Bellator.
Nobody
USADA's
cares.
not in there.
Nobody cares.
And it is an interesting point, and something that I've been thinking of recently with the whole John Jones thing is how much of it is actually necessary for this sport to run and continue.
Right.
Oh,
it's unnatural to put steroids in your body. You know what's unnatural? To fight another man for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And to end up in the hospital.
4 or 5 times, 3, 4 times a year.
Or 10 times, 15 times in your career. That's fucking insane, man. It's completely insane. So my only point is, should they allow steroids in sports? Here's what I think. I think we have to have a conversation about it. But just this idea, like, this is crazy, all the damage that's going to be done. We're already doing it in all these other sports where people get severe brain trauma. Yeah. They just look the other way and nobody seems to care. And by the way, kids die in high school football every year, nearly a dozen. Like, and we don't even care about that. Well, that was just a heat-related event. And the moral relativism about it all drives me crazy. All right, come on inside. Let's figure this out. It's the last show of the year, and we got sent this package. It always sounds weird when you say that, so I don't mean it quite in that way. I'll wait till he gets in here. Danny Segura is late, like all Colombians. There he is. Cheeky Tico Danny. Is your mic on?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know if I can hear him. Can I hear him? Talk again.
Yeah.
There it is, yes.
There we go.
Why don't you do us a favor, sir? Why don't you pour us a couple of shots of Guaro?
Guaro?
You know what I got to say it all gringuito style. This is aguardiente, all right?
Yep.
We opened this bottle on the very first show. Did you think about it on Christmas as being our 6-month anniversary?
No, man. To be honest, I've just been head in the water and I've just been trucking through these
It was
months.
our 6 months, because remember the first show was June 25th, right?
Yeah.
This show has taken 10 years off of my life. Can I just put you to that fairly?
I would say about 5 for me, maybe.
5, yeah. You got 5 more to give than I do, though.
Yeah.
You're like a cat who's only given away 1 or 2 lives. I'm on the 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this before we drink that. I can get a healthier shot than that. Jesus.
All right.
Somebody sent us this, and I think I know what it is, but I want to open it on the air just the same. They told me to be fragile with it. Fragile. That's Italian. Do you get that reference, Danny?
No. From where? I don't get a lot of references.
It's a Christmas Story, the movie. You'll shoot your eye out. And then the dad has the lamp that's a leg. You never seen that?
No.
And he goes, it came in a box, and the box said fragile. And he's just one of these idiot suburban dads. He's like, look, fragile.
Fragile.
It's Italian.
Yeah.
It's an old joke. All right, let's see here. Do you know what this is?
I think I have an idea.
All right.
We are still waiting for an Adesanya piece, right?
Yep, it could be this one. This might be another one, though. Let's see. It could be, God damn it. How was your Christmas, by the way?
It was good. I spent it in Miami visiting my parents.
How hot was it in Miami?
It wasn't too hot. It was, it was in the 70s for the most part. So, 60s some days. So sweater weather, t-shirt. Not great for the beach, but, you can still do it. It was very windy, too.
How cold's the water?
A bit cold, but it's not too bad. You can go in, but it's not comfortable. It's not,
I mean, could this person put more layers on this thing?
I mean, it is fragile, so.
That's Italian.
Yeah.
You got big plans for New Year's?
Me and my roommate are just gonna have a dinner, at the apartment. We're inviting some friends, and that's about it.
Bro.
What about you?
No, I've done how old are you, 26?
Yeah.
When I was 26, I was getting thrown out of clubs and bars and hotels. As a matter of fact, wait, how old was I then? 25 or 26. I got thrown out of 3 bars and a hotel in one night.
Okay.
I run with a crowd that's a little ruckus.
Yeah.
How do you get? I got thrown out of the. Shouts to the folks at the Mayflower Hotel. Do you remember Elliot Spitz, the governor of New York, who had the sex scandal? in
Yeah,
DC?
I remember that.
I got thrown out of that hotel.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Different reasons, I suppose.
Yeah, well, being a dork and a loser is typically why I get tossed out of places.
Yeah.
Oh my God, MFer! This bit is not working out as expected.
We're almost there.
Oh, Jesus Lord.
Here, you need help?
Oh, fucking Jesus. Trying not to curse anymore. Here we
gotcha.
go. Now we're getting there. I'm trying to cut across my awkward ass
Yeah,
body.
I got it. Oh, we're good.
How many idiots does it take to open up a box? Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, I need that.
So what are you doing for New Year's?
Oh, nothing. I'm so tired I could cry. But, hang on. I got a bit of an announcement.
All right.
Here we go. All right.
We're good.
Good Lord, man. No, it is not the Adesanya poster.
What's that then?
Oh, son! Yes! Cut that right here. Cut that right here. Right here. Here we are.
You cut the bubble wrap?
Yes, I know what this is. Oh, you're gonna love this. What time is it? Yeah, we got a few minutes left. This is.
I like those colors, so.
Yes, you do. A reader asked me, or a viewer asked me, if they wanted me to make one, and I said, "Fuck yeah, I do." So. God damn it. There we go. Son. Freaking James Rodriguez, bitches.
That's what's up. He posted a picture today with El Pibe.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Todo
which is
bien.
pretty sick, yeah.
Look at that, huh? James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And he's got the Columbia jersey on.
Yeah.
This is from the button collar. This is from
2014?
ooh, no. The one after that. This was Copa America,
Copa America.
2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, looks
James Rodriguez.
You guys miss him. You guys need him too.
Certainly do. I can't even hate.
Yeah.
Look at that. Thank you to the gentleman who sent this to us. We really appreciate it. I'll give him a shout out formally. It's signed down here. It was made. So we got to find a place for this because, by the way, we were told an Adesanya one is coming too. But here we go. James Rodriguez. How about that?
Yeah, sweet.
Very cool. All right.
All right. Well, no better segue than that, right?
Where do we put this? Here. How about this right here? Right now. Look at that. All right, man. It has been one hell of a 6 months, has it not?
Yeah. It's been wild.
Nearly died a couple of times trying to get up here. Normally I don't have to. I have to run out of here because I have to go upstairs or uptown to do my other show, but that's off today. So
yeah.
I'm not. Let me. Let me make a bit of an announcement, a small one here, if I can.
Go for it. Yeah.
So obviously this year's been kind of crazy, and I expect next year to be even wilder because around April or so, I'm going to be a dad.
Yeah.
How about that?
Congrats.
My wife is pregnant. I'm going to be a dad come April. It is going to be a baby girl, and that should be fun. So it's going to change things on the show here for a little bit around that time. But 2019 is going to be. However sleep deprived you thought I was last year, buddy, I'm going to show you.
No, this has just been a test.
Like Daniel
Preparation.
Cormier says, there's levels to this, bro.
Yeah.
There's levels to this. All right, here we are.
All right.
Look, it's been a crazy 6 months to a wild and wonderful 2019.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Wait, no. Pa
arriba,
pa
pa abajo, pa el centro,
pa
pa
adentro. Why do we keep doing that?
It's not bad.
It ain't good.
Get
Any
used to it.
Any final comments?
I just want to say thank you to all the listeners, everyone that's been tuning in, sending positive messages. I think that's one of the things that like motivates me and keeps me going a lot. Like all this positive feedback, on social media, especially when we first started the show, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
So getting a nice thank you, getting a good job is goes a long way, and it definitely makes you happy. So super happy about that. Super happy that people are enjoying the show. And we're not done. There's a lot left to be done, and
We're still trying to figure out the best format for the show.
yeah, it's still a work in progress, and it's just gonna get better next year for sure.
And today went well. When Daniel was late, I was like, God damn it. But no, he came
I was out
through.
there,
He came through, and everyone was here, and we got everything we wanted done. So
Yeah.
great job the last 6 months.
Thank you. Likewise.
Here's to another 6 that are going to be pretty awesome. Thank you to everybody out there. Don't forget 844-866-2468. That is your number to call. And keep those tweets coming at the MMA Hour. I say this in the lamest, dorkiest way possible. See you next year.
Boom, boom.